So why did I lose my last powerlifting competition? I could chalk it up to a bad meet prep, inconsistent training, or sickness, but that would kind of be bullshit. I'll really break it down in this video though, so you could probably avoid the mistakes that I made. So to give you guys a bit of context, I did my first meet since pre-COVID back in September. That meet went pretty well for me. I hit PRs on every lift and it was pretty dope. My highest comp lifts pre-COVID were 200 kilo squat, 155 kg bench, and a 242.5 deadlift, giving me a 597.5 kilo total. But this was as an 83. Obviously, I packed on a bit of weight during COVID. I gained that COVID weight, and I moved up a weight class. So my plan was to compete as a 93 kilo lifter, but you know, getting a little lazy near the comp, I felt like I didn't necessarily need to water cut. In the IPF, you can move between weight classes as long as you have the qualifying total for the weight class that you're going to. So I'm competing as a 105 just to reduce like the stress, but I'm a very light 105. I can usually cut that weight out pretty easily. So I ended up being heavy and just competing at the heavier weight class in around 95 kilos on the day. My heaviest lifts during the September meet were a 237.5 kilo squat, a 172.5 kg bench, and a 265 kg deadlift, adding 77 kilos to my total. Pretty huge for me. I was happy with that total. However, I entered that meet as a novice, so it didn't actually count towards any qualifying totals. My long-term goal is to go to nationals and eventually worlds, but in order to do that, I need to get the qualifying total for nationals and get a provincial and regional competition in. Unfortunately, the local meet that I didn't do that. I had to take that off. It was boiling, man. So that meet was all fine and dandy. I was happy with my total, just didn't do anything. So during this meet prep, I've been dealing with a bit of a minor lagging knee injury, which had actually occurred at the September meet. I was perfectly fine, felt great during my prep, and then felt a knee crack while sitting down in a folding chair. So basically lifted hundreds of pounds and hurt myself squatting a bodyweight squat. Do with that information what you will. So I've been trying to condition my knee and seeing my physio and chiropractor to try to, get it right. Wasn't getting any better. Obviously lifting with intensity and an insane amount of volume kind of worsened it. So obviously it didn't turn out optimally. My intensity was just way off during the prep. I was gonna just get my qualifying total and get out anyways. So it's not that big of a deal. All I needed was a 635 kilo for provincials and a 535 or 540 or something for regionals. So it wasn't too insane. Like I could save it with my deadlift and bench and just squat like 400 or 440. Another thing that put a bit of a wrench in my training, my girlfriend had booked a vacation for us, 10 days in Antigua. It was beautiful. It was fantastic. Really nice. We brought home like a super cute dog, but we were on vacation 2 weeks out from the meet. So optimally in peak training, you would want to increase your intensity and decrease your volume as the peak period progresses. So 2 weeks out, I would have been lifting some of the heaviest weights, like really conditioning myself to lift heavy. Unfortunately, I couldn't do that. Hotel gym things, not that big of a deal. All I needed was a qualifying total. And going into the vacation, I felt great. I felt healthy. Squat might not have been all there. I was still squatting like maybe 470, 495, minor knee pain. Bench, I was repping a 165. It felt great. Deadlift felt okay. I was repping about 260. So I was there. I had it. Coming back from that vacation, COVID, that was the big one. Honestly, it sucked because I just couldn't train during that week. In the week where I would have been lifting the heaviest in training, that was a bit of a bummer. And coming back from that, everything felt a little off. Like everything was a bit heavier. Doing singles like just a bit over the weight that I was repping out the week before. Felt heavy. Everything felt heavy. Everything felt clicky. And my knee was not better at all. It worsened almost during the vacation, and I didn't do a max squat coming back just from like pain and stuff. So just hope that I'd be able to do my minimum 200 kilo opener and then scratch the rest of my lifts. So that's where we were at. On the meet day, beautiful drive down to Belleville. It was like a really warm day. My buddy Gab, who took a bunch of the videos that I'm gonna put up, he also handled me that day. Thanks Gab for driving me out. So on the meet day, my knee felt okay. I was gonna feel it out to see if I was gonna do my opener on squats and then cut it there or actually try a PR. Warm-ups felt okay. They didn't feel amazing. Obviously I hadn't really squatted heavy in a couple of weeks, so everything kind of felt off, but I put up 205 for my opener. Not amazing, it was okay. And I went straight to 225 because I was was confident that I could get it, and my knee wasn't bugging me too much at that point. So I put that up, and that was a bit grindy. But after that lift, I kind of got a bit too overconfident and then decided to do a YOLO third, try to beat out my last PR at the last meet by 2.5 kilos, just because I was confident that I could add more last meet. But obviously my prep didn't go as well this time. I was sick, you know, all the factors playing into account, and it wasn't there. I went way too low. I friggin' buried it. I barely got past parallel and then failed on strength. So it wasn't there. Maybe on a better day, better prep, it would have been there, maybe next meet, but it wasn't there that day. Now moving on to bench. Bench is what I was the most confident would go well this meet. Bench is my strongest for my weight. Also, I've never failed a benching competition, so I wanted to put maybe a bit more weight so I could grind it out, and I really wanted the numbers. My powerlifting buddy was trying to coax me into doing a 400-pound bench. I wasn't super confident that I could get it, maybe in optimal conditions, but I just went with the higher number just for like the lulz, to be honest. I got my opener on bench. It was 165, flew, it was easy. And then I got my second. It was a bit slower than I'd assumed. It was 172.5, 380 pounds. Wasn't too hard. My buddy that coaxed me to do the 400-pound bench, I'm at his house every week. He has a home gym. Been lifting there since COVID, pretty much. This guy's the fucking head judge, but he's not giving me any kind of like advantage, obviously. So pauses at the top and at the bottom are like a little bit long. It was hard. Tried to put up 182.5. This is one of the lists I'm the most pissed about because I got it about halfway up and just failed on strength. I didn't have it that day. I'm a little upset that I didn't get it, you know, the 400-pound glory. Also, it's like 17 pounds heavier than my heaviest lifted bench. I'm pretty proud that I got it that high up. I could have gotten lighter and probably gotten it if I put my ego aside and actually chose a better number to lift. Now going into deadlifts, my warm-ups did feel kind of heavy, and I wasn't super confident with my deadlifts going into training either. I was ready to take whatever I could get on deads. My opener was 250, which is 555. It was okay, nothing special. A bit slow, a bit of rounding. I couldn't really lock my lats in, and just in general, I'd have trouble with pulling the slack. Like, it's a very technical lift for me. I don't know, it is what it is. Going into my second attempts, I had two options basically in my head. Either go lighter on second and heavier on the third, or middle pack on both. So I decided to go with the lighter option on the second. I went for 260, which is 573. I got that. It was kind of slow. I got my second as well. And then for the third, I wanted a solid total. That would put me at a 697 kg total, just short of the 700. And so I really went for it. And this is a number that I've been really wanting to get. The 275 kilo deadlift, 5 red plates, and the 2.5 kilo clips on each side. And I tried this lift at the end of my last meet, just in the weight room, and I got it about halfway up my shins. Honestly, it was just a throwaway attempt. I really wanted to lift 600 pounds, like just to say that I could. And once again, it wasn't there. So just purely ego lifting my thirds. Some people say that a 6 for 9 meet is the way God intended. It's a good meet. You really went for it. Now, the funniest part is my total added up to 657.5 kilos. And I lost to someone who matched my second bench attempt, and he matched my top deadlift that I had successfully lifted. But he got a heavier squat than my top squat by 17.5 kilos. But here's the thing, my top 3 lifts were all within range. I could have gone heavier without going as heavy as I had. For example, if I'd just gone for a 230 kilo squat instead of a 240, probably would have gotten it. Would have added 5 kilos to my total. If I would have gone for a 177.5 kilo bench, which I 100% would have gotten in the same conditions, it would have added another 5 kilos to my total. If I would have gone for a 267 kilo deadlift, I would have matched his total, and I was the lighter lifter, so I would have won by default. So if I would have just gone for slightly lighter maxes, if I would have just put my ego aside and chosen my attempts smarter, I would have won. But I wasn't thinking like that. I wasn't thinking competitively. I wasn't thinking about winning. I was just thinking about putting up the numbers that I want. So it's a double-edged sword. I'm happy that I went for them because I can say that I really went for them. I'm also bummed that I didn't win. Obviously, I didn't go there to win. I still got my qualifying total for both regionals and provincials. And I'm also a little upset that I failed these lifts that I like really wanted. I can blame it on all these little things, you know, being sick, hurting my knee, overtraining, going on vacation 2 weeks before meet. But at the end of the day, I could have won if I just played it out smarter. Is what it is. It's a funny story as well. Here's my little reward, you know, 2 out of 3. Regionals are in February, but I don't think my knee will be good by that time. And I would need like at least a 700 kilo total to be competitive like at any level, regional, provincials, and those guys are stupid strong. So since my bench is strong, I might just do a bench only regionals and possibly provincials depending on how my knee feels in order to go to nationals, bench only, and possibly worlds if I'm strong enough. For the time being, I'm just gonna take some time off squats, try to condition my knee to, you know, work. Take it easy, you know, listen to your body, lift what you can actually lift, what you have done in training, you know, not 20 pounds above your max. What? There's only so much you can do. Anyways, that's all. Peace out.